and welcome to Contemporary Black Voices, where we tell our story our way. And my name is Dr. Sharon Michael Chadwell, and I am one of three hosts. With me today are also Chris Dawkins and Caleb Alexander. Our topic today deals with an executive order that just came out on July 24th, and President Trump issued Executive Order 14321 entitled Ending Crime and Disorder on American Streets, which addresses homelessness and prioritizing civil commitment and public safety while shifting funding away from housing first programs. So this is really a really disturbing executive order in that 13% of the population of the United States is Black, but 49% of the homeless population is Black. So there's going to be a severe impact on the Black community, on our Black unhoused population with this executive order. And then this is almost 91 days since Trump has been in office. And he did say that he was pushing another executive order to militarize the police. So there seems to be some type of correlation between the two. But homelessness is often, because of the physical, the visual piece, is getting a lot of negative stereotypes. I think a lot of people think that homeless people are out there because they want to be out there, or because they were criminals, or because they will harm the community. But in my own personal experiences, I haven't met a homeless person who wants to do harm to me. Usually, they may come up to me and ask me, do I have anything to give, any money to give them, but they have never attacked me. So there's this stereotype. They seem to be pretty peaceful people, even under intense conditions. So, but the fact that Trump is already, the Trump administration, under this Christian nationalist environment that they are trying to project upon us, is taking this criminalization of undesirable people to all kind of levels, in that if they're going to place these people into secure facilities, we just have to imagine we're going to probably see a lot of alligator Alcatraz type systems being set up. The state hospitals, they don't have the facilities to handle people who need to be even examined to see if they determine if they are mentally ill. Because a lot of people on the streets for various reasons. Some's because it's just hard times. So this bill is very, very disturbing. What do you think, Chris?
Um, I have a couple of thoughts about this. Number one, it is opening, I think, the door to the possible martial law. You talked about, which I didn't know, about the wanting to, what'd you say they were doing with the police?
Militarize.
Militarizing the police, which to me is another form of trying to make it homeless, or try to corral the homeless. So if you're trying to corral the homeless, and the other thing, well, my thoughts are going all over the place right now. But when you talked about who was being affected, and you said homeless, but what is to prevent them from coming after other folks under the disguise of looking for somebody that's an immigrant or looking for somebody that's homeless? That's number one. Number two is they're talking about putting these people in institutions. And I don't really, I'm kind of iffy on that. And the reason is that because back when I was growing up, people who had mental disorders could be committed or were in a state mental hospital. When the Republicans took that away, then that's when we began to see homeless. And now there's no hospitals that they can go to, and it has been put upon the people that you can't really, I've got relatives who I know have a mental problem, but unless they agree to it, you can't put them in a mental hospital. So that all becomes a problem. You see where police all over the country are called to a incident. When they're called to that incident, then the person comes out, they shoot the person, possibly killing them, and you find out, well, he had a mental problem. Okay. So the police aren't equipped for that. And we're seeing some changes happening where police are getting better at that. But the intent of what Donald Trump is doing, I think, is going to be very bad on America.
Thoughts?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm concerned about the, again, the criminalization of poverty. You know what I mean? So that's my biggest concern. I mean, there are other things that could be done to handle homelessness or to tackle poverty. There should be other initiatives than to just criminalize it and try to lock people up for being poor. That's my concern.
Speaking on that, you look at these, we have a lot of areas in San Antonio, these malls are shutting down. And I've always said, why doesn't the city take those facilities, make it into a
homeless shelter?
But they already have the infrastructure to where they got the kitchens, and pay these people to manage those facilities to kind of help them with their skill set. Give, set up training in those facilities to where they can go out and find a job beyond that. So
no, absolutely. I mean, there are solutions out there. It's just who has the political courage to push these solutions forward. It's easy to criminalize the population. It's easy to be tough on crime than it is to be compassionate for homeless, especially with the party that's currently in power. I just show me in this golden Trump Bible where Jesus said to criminalize the homeless. You know what I mean? I don't remember that part of the Bible.
Because it's not there.
It's not. I distinctly remember something about taking care of each other.
Right.
It's my again, like Chris, I said, my thoughts are all over the place on this one. It's hard for me to reconcile this party that claims to be or this party of Bible thumpers, you know what I mean? And to support a law like this, or to support a lot of the policies that they support, you know what I mean? Just the forced immigration policies, you know what I mean? Or the forced commitment, which again, speaking to the forced commitment, what if the homeless person doesn't have a mental problem? Not everyone who's homeless has a mental problem. Why would you commit someone who doesn't have a mental problem to a mental institution?
But I don't think they're going to commit the person to a facility. The facility is not going to be a mental institution. So all those people who do maybe have a mental problem won't be taken care of. The ones who don't have a mental problem are going to be in an institution that they shouldn't be in.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you got all of this stuff that's going to go on.
Yeah.
To sum it all up for me, America is gone. America is no longer America.
Something my son was saying, he says, Mom, did you see how they were applauding and smiling and raising their hand to God, when they were signing that bill? There is the old saying, we're going to hell in a handbasket. There's going to be a lot of handbaskets, here in this situation. But the other piece is that we're already seeing how they're handling the roundup and the deportation of immigrants. And he said that he was going to go after those who were criminals, right? But you're seeing innocent people being rounded up. So there may be a person who was homeless for one day, and if the police come in on day two, they're going to be rounded up. And, they might have been kicked out of the house. Before the show got started, I was saying that oftentimes when we talk about homeless people, we're implying that they come from low income situations. I have seen homeless people who have come out of affluent situations. Yeah, they may have to be living out of their Mercedes or whatever, but oftentimes we have a, a stereotype of what homelessness is, and sometimes those people are out there for reasons beyond their control. Yeah, totally under control. Now, maybe over time, the stress of homelessness may impact their mental health. But we got a lot of people who are still in that window of opportunity to where if someone is give them a job, give them a place to stay, they have to be in, if they go to a homeless shelter for the evening to go rest, they have to be in line and be out by a certain time the next day, and then start the process over and over again.
Right.
So with this administration pulling back funding from everything, funding for everything, and at the same time praising God that we're going to do something about homelessness by criminalizing them, there's a total disconnect here.
Absolutely.
Total disconnect here.
Absolutely. I agree.
What I wish we had is we're talking about the subject, and I wish there was something that we could do. In the old America, you could protest, you could do different things like that. But now it seems to be that you can't do any of that. Okay. And we're getting into a position where you can't protest. Uh, it doesn't make any difference to say anything to anybody else about it, because if I'm talking to you and you're black, you with me, you can't do nothing about it. And the people that we don't associate with, which are probably MAGA Republicans, are all saying, "Yippee, we're happy about this." So I don't know what we do.
I mean, this is just more red meat. It's like he's throwing stuff out there. As long as you don't mention Epstein, he's throwing red meat to the base so they can take their mind off of Epstein.
We're not gonna forget Epstein.
You know what I mean? No, he threw them the ultimate red meat, which we gotta indict Obama. And he threw them like he's been throwing red meat. We gotta release the Martin Luther King files. We gotta do everything we can. We gotta start locking up these black folks that are homeless on the street. He's throwing them black folks, everything he can do in order to get their mind off the Epstein file. And I think this is another incident, another one of those things that he's just a piece of red meat that he's throwing out there.
Well, what I'm going to do is we're going to stop this conversation for a few minutes, and we're going to come back. And I really want us to look at what can, the black churches do.